Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is only going to be a top 5. It's something I talk about a lot, but I never really show. Very frequently, you'll hear me talk about the time to buy a note is when you see it, because you may never get another chance. Um, Another thing is when I see a note that may not be in the greatest of shape, if the price is right, I'll pick it up to fill a hole, knowing that in the future I'll probably run across one that's in a little bit better shape and I'll upgrade it at that time. I would much rather have the note in poor condition than be constantly on the lookout for a note I don't have and being extremely picky about the condition. So, yeah, to me, getting the note, that's the important part. I can always upgrade it. And that's what this list is about today. It's about notes that I have recently upgraded in my collection. Now, there's only 5 of them. Normally, I don't do videos showing the upgrades, but it just so happens that I happen to have 5 of them sitting right here, and well, it's a very convenient time for me to actually put this out as a video. Once again, it's something that I never really showed before, so you'll get to see the before and after, and maybe even hear some of the reasons why. So anyway, top 5 notes that I've upgraded recently. Number 5. Some of you may remember this note. This is my 1992 Cook Islands $3 bill. You can see the 3 right here. There's a lot to be said about the statue here, the tripod there, but that's not what actually made this note famous. What made this note famous is this side of the note, because that is a native woman from the Cook Islands riding a shark, holding a coconut. And all of those are intricate parts of a very detailed story about the legend of how the Cook Islands came to be. I'm not going to go through that legend right now because I don't know how appropriate it is for any particular age, but you can go back and find my $3 Cook Islands video and hear the story because it's kind of weird. But it would certainly explain why there is a naked lady with a coconut riding on a shark. It does not explain the tripod. Yeah, that's the nickname for the boat, by the way, in case. Anyway, this was my 1992 $3 Cook Islands note, and it's in beautiful condition. So calling it an upgrade isn't exactly true. What I did get is the latest version of the note. It's slightly smaller. Now, this note here, I've got questions. Okay, the picture is not the same. The picture is upgraded. The idea is the same on the note. But when I look and try to read all the fine print, I can see $3. I can see all kinds of signatures and stuff. I can see security features. If I turn the note over, it's got a serial number there, serial number here. What it doesn't have anywhere is a series or a year. That's what I find the most interesting. This one, like I said, has October 16th through 27th, 1992 on there, but this one does not. So I'm not sure if this is a replica note, if this is a real note, if this is just a souvenir note. I'm not sure, but I remember the woman riding the shark, and I saw that this was a slightly different version, so I got it. I will not be getting rid of this note here. I'll be keeping them both. But like I said, to me, this was an upgrade because I'm assuming this is a more modern version of this particular note. So that's number 5 on the list. Number 4. I have a $1 1 peso from the Philippines. Now, I know you guys are familiar with all of my foreign currency that I do because I don't do any of it hardly at all. However, this note is actually emergency World War II currency, and I don't even know if that's the proper way to say it, but it is World War II currency, and the important part about it is right here, series number 66. This is the Victory series. Those of you who know more about World War II than I do will know about, was it MacArthur that went into the Philippines, said he would return, and he came back and retook the Philippines. Japan took the Philippine Islands, put their own currency into circulation there, and then when the Philippines regained their freedom, they put out the Victory series, and they made a 1, a 2, a 5, a 10. I'm not even sure of all the different denominations. I know I have the 1, the 2, the 5. I might have the 10, and I've got videos of the ones that I do have. So not only does it say Victory here, but when you turn it over, you also get Victory on the back. Really cool note, really cool piece of history, especially since you've got that overprint on the back. Now, when I heard about these, I ran out and bought them because I wanted to have them. I wanted them as part of my collection, and I wasn't too worried about condition. However, I did recently get one that's in much better condition, as you can see. The Victory series there, and side by side. Now, there's nothing really wrong with this one. It's just a little dirty. It's got a couple creases in it, but I was able to score a nicer version of the same note. And looking at the back, you can see that the back of mine is brighter. It's not perfect. It's still dirty. It's just brighter in color and slightly better in condition. So I decided I was going to upgrade it. Now, this one may end up in an auction, sometime in the near future, because I don't need 2 of these. And like I said, it's a cool piece of history, so I decided I was going to upgrade it, and I'll share the other one with you guys. So that's number 4. Number 3. This is a $1 Confederate States of America note from June 2nd, 1862. You guys saw me bring this one out, and yes, it is in rough condition. $1 CSAs are always in rough condition just because they were actually spent. They were actually circulating. $1 was a lot of money back then, at least in 1862. By the time you get to 1864, inflation, hyperinflation kind of sunk in, and people needed an awful lot of these to buy anything. But in 1862, a $1 note, that was still heavily circulated, and you can see by this one, it most certainly was. I picked up this note fairly cheap at a national show. It was, I don't want to say it was in a throw-in pile, but I didn't even have my book out to determine whether or not this was a good price when I saw the price that was on it. So I picked it up, and yeah, it was priced accordingly for the condition. So I was happy to have one, but I did stumble across one that is in much better condition. Still not perfect in any way, shape, or form. You can see here the side is still all kind of tore up. The top is still all tore up, but not to the extent that this one is. If I was to try to read all the signatures on here, the signatures are actually, well, they're pretty close. I mean, this one's real easy to read. This one's kind of tough to read. This one's partially missing because of that, and this one's right along the edge. So yeah, you would most certainly agree that this note here is an improvement on the one that I had. Because yeah, this one you can see how it's curled over like that. It is done, these notes are done on rice paper, so it does make it hard to kind of straighten them out in here once they do have a curl. That's why it's in this, and it still has those particular marks like that. Anyway, even the printing, you can see how dark this image is compared to how faded this one is. So that it was a little bit of an upgrade, and allows me to pass this one on through the auction to you guys at a really good price too. So look for that one in upcoming months. That is number 3. Number 2, one of my favorite fractionals that I talk about. This is my spinner note. Now, my spinner note is not in the greatest of shape. In fact, you can see right here, it actually has a hole in it. But that's spinner. That's what's cool. Now, another thing about spinner is, you see these green marks here? Well, I should tell you who spinner is. General F.E. Spinner, one of the more interesting signatures you're ever going to see on a note. He always used a calligraphy pen to sign his name, compared to just a regular signature here. Now, Spinner and Abraham Lincoln got together and came up with postal currency, which later turned into fractional currency during the Civil War, because people were hoarding silver, hoarding copper. They didn't want to spend their change. So they came up with the idea of fractional currency. Now, with all the different series and denominations that they had gone through, Spinner was running out of ideas on who to put on notes, so he put himself on the note. Yeah, what a move. But that's why this note is so famous. The famous 50-cent Spinner note, I believe this is from the 3rd series or the 4th series. Might be the 4th series. Let's see. No, 3rd issue. All right, the other thing is that you see these green sections here? That was an overprint And what they did was they printed that in glue and then sprinkled bronzing powder on it. Now you guys are going to look at that and go, it's green. Well, yes, because bronze will turn green over time. So that is why you have those giant green smudges on the side. Checking out the back of the note, once again, you can see the hole there. That was the note that I had, and I was able to upgrade it. This one is actually a graded version, and side by side, they're fairly close. This one just doesn't have the hole. You can see the hole here. It does not have a hole here. And this one, you can see that the bronzing agent turned extremely green, which means there was probably a thicker coating of glue, whereas these aren't quite as dark green from the bronzing powder. So that's the front. Take a look at the back. Now this has the overprint, and you can see they are different types on the back. And if you look real close, this does have the overprint here. It's just not quite as bold as this overprint. But yeah, two different styles of back. This one is a type 1, and this one is a type 2, if I remember. Yeah, that's what that is. And what's the designation on the back? Comments. Small edge splits, nicks and tears, minor paper pull on back. That's the minor paper pull right there. Anyway, so that's my spinner note and the upgrade. Once again, this one will probably end up in an auction, and I will keep this one until I upgrade it even further. That's number 2 on the list. And finally, number 1. I have a $20 gold certificate, 1928 $20 gold certificate. I was rather proud to get this particular one just because you don't see them very often. Now, when these circulated, they were actually kind of tricky to spot because the backs of these notes still look like regular notes. So if you were looking just at the backs, you'd never know that you had a gold certificate there. But anyway, the $20 1928 gold certificate obviously says gold certificate. The certificate is a legal tender in the amount thereof in payment of all debts, public and private. If you read it here, this certifies that there have been deposited in the treasury of the United States of America $20 in gold coin payable to the bearer on demand. Remember, in 1928, we had a 1-ounce $20 gold coin. So those were used to back this particular note. And I was able to upgrade it with one that's slightly brighter. To me, this note just has much more eye appeal. As far as condition, they're probably pretty close. You're simply talking about the bright white versus the yellow. Now, some people may suggest that the note on the bottom, that bright white, may have been a cleaned or a bleached note. Very well could be the case. I'm not going to say that it isn't. I am going to say that I don't collect coins very much. And it always scratches my head when somebody would rather have a dull, dirty, dingy coin rather than a bright and shiny coin, when the whole point of precious metals is bright and shiny. So I am one that's very big on eye appeal. Either of these notes are probably going to grade the same. And with that being the case, if they come out with the same grade, I'm going with eye appeal, and I like the bright white. My personal opinion and my note in my collection. And that's the important thing to remember. It is your collection. You can collect anything you like for any reason you like. Given the choice, even if someone wants to stomp their feet up and down saying this note is cleaned, I don't care. I like the way it looks. And that's what's important. And that's number 1 on my list. All right, guys, if you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.